If you're watching this video, you're probably a lot like me. You're a home cook that really loves spending time in the kitchen, but you haven't been professionally trained. There were probably some home ec classes in high school, or maybe you grew up cooking alongside a parent or a grandparent. But you've also probably made a lot of big mistakes along the way that have cost you money and time and a bunch of frustration. Well, keep watching, and I'm going to give you this home cook's #1 tip on how to avoid some of those big mistakes in the kitchen and maybe save some food along the way. Hi, welcome to Cookware SOS. My name is Beth. If you've watched any of my previous videos, you've probably heard me say this before. The main thing you need to avoid in cooking is high heat. Now, I know a lot of you are going to be like, if I can't use high heat, how am I going to boil anything? How am I going to sear anything? Well, you're misunderstanding a little bit. Now, what I mean by this is that you don't want to just grab your pan out of the cupboard, stick it on the stovetop, and crank up the temperature to 10. What you want to do is put that pan on a medium heat and then just let the heat build. It's going to get really hot. It's just going to take a bit more time. And that time is going to give you a little wiggle room if you have other things happening in the background and you can't be constantly watching. First of all, it can be really bad for the structure of the pan itself. You could potentially cause some thermal shock that will warp the pan. If it's a really lovely cast iron that has the enamel coating on the outside, it could crack it and then it could start to chip. With non-stick pans, along with the warping, is you're going to degrade the coating a lot faster, and you're going to have to replace that much sooner than you would if you had just heated it up slowly. Now, the second reason why you want to avoid high heat is because you're going to lose control of the pan. It's going to heat a lot faster than perhaps you were wanting it to. As an example of that, sometimes when I would come home from work, I just wanted to eat in a hurry. I would grab a pot and a can of soup, stick it on high. Once it boiled, it'll be ready. Well, by the time it was boiling on top, it had burnt on the bottom. So anything that was a little heavier, all the good stuff, was stuck to the bottom of the pan. So I'd get a lot less food, wouldn't taste as good, and I'd have to spend a lot of time washing that pot. The third thing I want you to think about when you're about to start cooking on high heat is that after you've potentially warped your pan and then potentially burnt a lot of really expensive food, is that you're going to have to wash your pan. And once something's been burnt on, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of scrubbing. And the whole time you get to think about, oh, I should have cooked on a lower temperature. But I am going to show a little bit of mercy, and I'm going to let you know a great way to clean a pan. Once you've burnt something on it, if you put in some hot water and some baking soda, bring it up to a simmer. Sometimes I'll get a whisk and kind of scrub out a little bit. That mixture was really going to help loosen it up, and it's going to make cleaning your pan a lot easier. Now, you'll know that it's going to be hot enough to sear once you use the water test. Sprinkle a little bit of water on it, and if it dances, then you know it's hot. If it just evaporates, you can give it a little bit more time. It also will help you, once the food is in the pan, if you're finding that it's cooking a little bit too quickly, you can turn it down. A really good pan is going to hold that heat really well. But it'll go down a lot faster, going from medium like 5 to 4 than if you have to go all the way down from 10 to 5. Now I know celebrity chefs make cooking on high heat seem really easy. They've always got the gas stoves with the flames up high, and they're sauteing vegetables and searing meat, and everything's coming out perfect. We need to remember that they have decades of experience, but if it's for a TV show, they didn't pay for those pots and pans themselves. They're probably not paying for the food. They're absolutely not doing the washing up. We are not celebrity chefs. Now, I'm not saying that you're never going to want to cook on high heat again. Definitely, you're just boiling water for pasta, you put it on high. It's nothing that's going to burn. But once the pasta's in there, maybe think about turning it down a little bit. It just gives you more control over what you're cooking. But once you really get the hang of it, then you'll know the heats that you can change it to. If you've had any high heat adventures that you'd like to share, please put them in the comments below. I'd love to read them. If you've found this video helpful, please click subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming tips. Thanks so much for joining me here at Cookware SOS today. I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.